Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I got listed on websites like Forbes, Express, Birmingham Mail, Telegraph, and so on and so forth. So if you want to learn how you can do this, or if you want to outsource this to a PR agency, watch this video and I'll show you exactly how I got listed on some of these websites. Hey, very quickly, if you are struggling ranking your website on Google, maybe you are an e-commerce store trying to get more sales, or potentially you might even be a local business trying to generate more leads for your company, check the link down below. I have helped businesses rank higher than the Google logo. Okay, that might have been a slight lie, but if you are looking to consistently grow your revenue month on month, check the link down below, fill in the form, see if my team can help you. Right, back to the video. So one thing that I want to specify first of all is that this was done by a PR agency, and they reached out to me and said, hey Kaz, we can do PR. I don't know how to personally do PR, but these guys do, and they've done quite a good job. But in return, they done a PR campaign, and they've also kind of trained me up step by step. So if you guys want to learn how to do this yourself, you can do, or if you want to outsource this to Cupid PR, you can do as well. So let's get into the video. Now, as we can see here, we have got a variety of links. So in total, we ended up getting 21 backlinks with this PR campaign. Some of them are no follow, which I am not bothered by at all because they still do pass power, especially if it's coming from some big monster websites. Some are do follow links, and obviously some are unlinked mentions as well. But again, on the grand scheme of things, having a mixture of do follow, no follow, and also unbranded mentions or unlinked mentions, every natural website has that. You go and look at the likes of IBM, for example. IBM, not every single website that mentions IBM links to them. In some cases, they might only mention the founder or the CEO or one of the shareholders. And in this case, they've essentially done a very white hat approach to digital PR. So if we take a look at some of these links as well, as you can see here, Express, and this was for one of my accounting client sites. And as you can see, how much tax the average worker will pay to HMRC over the course of an entire year. They've done their research, and they have put together a pretty decent article that obviously a lot of journalists did want to publish. So as we can see here, Forbes.com, they have essentially linked back to our website. And as we can see here, Karja Dash. So I am listed on Forbes. Brilliant. But going back to their actual process. So step number one is obviously the ideation process, and this is what it looks like. So for example, they've got a campaign name and it is going after inheritance tax, which is a little bit more of a reactive campaign. And they've said that the headline is "Expert reveals how you can avoid the most unfair tax in Britain." So just a little bit of a side note for anybody that doesn't know what inheritance tax is let's say, for example, you get a house inherited by your mum or your dad, and they have already paid the entire mortgage off, £1 million. Now, you as the person that is getting that inherited to yourself, you actually need to pay tax on it. It's a little bit of an unfair tax. In the UK, a lot of people do get annoyed by it, so I can see and I can understand why they have went down this angle. And as you can see here, they've also done their research as well. So like 10 ways to avoid inheritance tax, or how to avoid inheritance tax. And whenever they are pitching these kinds of angles to the actual journalists, which we will get into in just a second, they're referring to some of these articles. Now, same goes with idea number two as well, lowest income tax countries to live in. So there is a page on my website that talks about digital nomads and how you can basically pay less tax when you travel to another country, or when you become a tax resident of another country. And again, I can see this being very lucrative. I can see a lot of journalists wanting to write about this. And one other thing as well that I would like to mention is the reason why this campaign done very well is they timed it perfectly when there was a load of tax returns being done. So in April, for example, there's a lot of tax returns that gets completed, and hence why a lot of journalists would want to speak about that. So 10 out of 10 for the actual timing. Again, if you guys want a bonus tip, if, say, for example, let's say you're trying to do digital PR for a dating website, you're always bound to get a lot more digital PR links like the Express, Daily Mail, etc., linking back to your dating website during Valentine's Day. So trying to pair up what your industry is with potentially a holiday, or let's say Valentine's Day or Christmas or Halloween, because you can get a lot more links that way. Basically how it works is the journalists are tasked, or their KPI, to write a certain amount of articles per holiday and stuff like that. So just a little bit of a bonus tip that I have picked up as well. So then we have got idea number 2, and this is kind of like a data-driven campaign where it is talking about which countries you should visit if you want to pay the least amount of tax, the average rent, internet speed. So again, it's very tailored towards digital nomads. And again, they've done their research here, so they've went and done a little bit of research on 3 different websites, and they've put together this more of an informative piece. Now, once you have then got all of this information, the next step is you want to find some journalists. So what I recommend for that is these guys have used Roxel. They've actually been kind enough to highlight what they have done. So they have went into Roxel and they've just put in the keyword tax and also based it into the UK because it is a UK business, and you have got a load of journalists. As you can see here, we actually have 3,150 journalists that have recently spoke about tax or income tax or just accounting. And basically what we then want to do is export this list, and we want to start emailing some of these guys. Now, for the outreach process, one thing that I would like to specify, and this goes for link building in general, this isn't just for digital PR, it is all about the amount of times you do follow-ups. So it's very unlikely for a digital PR person, or for example, if you're doing outreach just for like link insertions or guest posting, it is very, very low chance of a website owner or a blog owner or a journalist to reply back to you on the very first email. So there's 2 tools that I recommend using for outreach. Tool number 1 is BuzzStream, and this is what Cupid PR use. And basically with the 2 tools that I'm going to show you, you are able to do auto follow-ups. So if, say, for example, a journalist potentially opens up your email but doesn't actually publish the article, BuzzStream will actually tell you, hey, Jonathan, the journalist from The Sun, has opened up XYZ email, but they've not actually done anything with it. So then you can trigger what's called a follow-up, and you can say, hey, John, I can see that you've opened up my email, but it doesn't look like you've done anything. Is there anything that you want me to change? So on and so forth. So at least you're triggering a conversation between yourself and the journalist. So as you can see here, BuzzStream, it is used by quite a lot of big companies, like for example Rise at 7 use it, Sear and Root, and so on and so forth. So it is quite a trusted brand. Now, one thing that I would say is that BuzzStream can be a little bit expensive, so if you guys do want a cheaper alternative, you can also go down the gmass.co route as well, and again, pretty similar product, but you will need to warm up your emails as well. And I believe Gmass actually do have a warm up email feature. Don't quote me on that, but there are various ways that you can warm up your emails. And the reason why I'm saying you should be worrying about warming up your emails is if you are going down the digital PR route and you want to do it in-house, you first of all need to worry about acquiring the actual emails, because you will burn out for a lot of emails very quickly. Second of all, you want to warm up the emails so it is actually landing in the inbox. The last thing you want to be doing is sending emails, and the emails that you are sending goes through to the spam and nobody sees the spam. So just bear that in mind when you are going down this strategy. It sometimes is better to actually just hire an agency because they've got all the SOPs in place. And the last section, and it is probably the most important section, is the actual email that you are sending to these journalists. So as you can see here, expert reveals how you can avoid the most unfair tax and in Britain. Now, what I was told is, if you're going to be doing this yourself, you want a very catchy subject line. So these guys actually use this as the subject line, because journalists, as soon as they see a subject line that they like, they are more likely to actually publish that onto the website. So try and create something that is pretty crafty if you are looking to do this yourself. And then this is where the actual main content comes in. So they are obviously talking about life insurance, they're talking about gifting. So for example, a lot of people in the UK, they actually end up gifting money to their grandchildren and stuff like that. And that's a loophole between not paying inheritance tax. You've got trusts and you've got spending it and so on and so forth. And one thing that they end up doing at the end of every single email is, if you use this story, please credit and link to XYZ website. In this case, it was TaxBite. And they have also listed the sources as well at the bottom. So it is very clear who the sources that we've mentioned in this article are. So it doesn't just look like we have fed a load of lies to the journalists. So that has been my review on Cupid PR. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to the team that completed my entire PR campaign. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't have the time to do digital PR myself, so I just like to outsource it in this case. But the good thing is I have learned quite a lot from the team, and they've been able to educate me a lot more. If you guys do want a digital PR campaign, one thing I will do is I'll link down below to Cupid PR, and you guys can check them out yourself. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like. And if you guys do want a free 15-minute growth strategy call, make sure to check out the link down below. Thanks.